It wasn't until he saw the red stain on the bedsheet that the chairman was horrified to realize that the 40-year-old woman in front of him was actually a virgin. He immediately felt deeply guilty. He then apologized to the woman and explained that someone drugged his drink last night, and that's why he did what he did, but assured her that he'll take full responsibility for his actions. To make amends, he took out his business card and gave it to her, telling her that if she ever had any problems in the future, she could call the number for help. He thought that this would be the end of their interaction. Unexpectedly, a month later, the woman found out she was pregnant, with rare twins. Realizing they were his own flesh and blood, she decided to keep the babies and called the man from that night. "I'm pregnant with your child," she said. "I want to keep the baby. Can we meet and talk?" "I don't know who you are," he replied, "but do you think joking like this is funny?" The chairman ordered his assistant to find out who the woman was. Not long before, the chairman had been informed by a doctor that he had a congenital condition that made it nearly impossible for him to have children. This shocked him greatly. He loved children and was still single. If he couldn't have children, no one would inherit his billion-dollar fortune. So when this unknown woman suddenly called saying she was pregnant with his child, he immediately assumed it was a scam. He angrily hung up the phone and ordered his assistant to investigate and teach her a lesson. He had no idea that the child she carried was actually his own. Meanwhile, the woman clutched her pregnancy test results, completely lost on what to do. She was 40 years old and had remained unmarried because, years ago, she found an abandoned baby at a vegetable market. Unable to locate the child's biological parents, she raised the baby herself with great hardship, delaying her own marriage. Now she lived with her adopted son and his wife, running a small restaurant together. With no other choice, she returned to the restaurant her adopted son ran. Unexpectedly, her son and daughter-in-law deliberately made her deliver food to a rich client. When the wealthy man saw her, he immediately had wicked thoughts and began touching her inappropriately. She resisted as best she could, but what he said next shocked her. Meanwhile, the chairman's assistant reported back. The call had indeed come from the woman he had been with that night, and the pregnancy was real. "It's absolutely true. I investigated it personally," the assistant said. "I have a child," the chairman exclaimed in excitement. "Go find her. I want to bring her back." The assistant cautioned, "Her background is a bit complicated. Also, as far as I know, she doesn't know your true identity. You should think carefully about how to handle things before bringing her back. Do you only want the child in her belly, or do you want to marry her?" "You make a good point," he replied. "Here's what we'll do. I'll first meet her as an ordinary person and see what kind of person she is. If she's only interested in wealth, I'll have her give birth to the child and then raise the baby myself. But if she's not after money, I'll marry her and treat her and the child well." While the foolish rich man bullied and harassed the woman, even calling her all sorts of names, the chairman rushed in and stopped him abruptly. He declared to them that the woman was carrying his child and that no one would dare to bully her. He then turned to the woman and assured her that he would stand by her side throughout the entire process. The foolish man interrupted, saying that the woman needed a man like him who had money, not a man who still dressed in an old-fashioned way. He burst into laughter along with his foolish friends. Angered, the woman slapped him across the face. Furious, the man raised his hand to retaliate, but the chairman grabbed his hand in midair and gave a strong warning. "I don't want to see you anywhere near this woman, or you'll have me to contend with," and flung him away like a piece of trash. He then turned to the woman and told her that he would fight for her forever. Soon after, the story shifted to a luxurious hotel owned by the chairman. The woman's future in-laws had arranged a dinner there, while the chairman was attempting to disguise his true identity, pretending to be someone else so she wouldn't discover his wealth. He hesitated to enter the hotel with her, fearing that the staff might recognize him, greet him as their boss, and inadvertently reveal who he really was. When she tried to enter the hotel alone, the staff mocked her modest appearance and stopped her at the door. Humiliated, she tried to defend herself, but they sneered and seemed eager to embarrass her further. Just then, a man wearing a face mask appeared, introduced himself as a well-known businessman, and gestured for everyone to remain calm. His presence immediately silenced the staff, and they reluctantly allowed her to pass. He then removed his mask, turned to the staff, and sternly warned them not to address him as boss or reveal his identity. They all nodded obediently. Later, during the family dinner, the woman waited in the lobby while the chairman met with his siblings to brief them before bringing her in. Suddenly, a staff member rushed to inform him of a commotion downstairs. He hurried down, only to find several employees mistreating her again. Furious, he slapped one of them in anger. "If you were the chairman, what will you do to the staff?"